No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Oh, we're live.
Oh,
say goodbye, Reddy.
Bye, Reddy.
Oh man,
Goodbye,
Reddy will not
So-
go for that.
So when the dog jumped off, she pulled on my headphone cord and hit the mouse and moved the thing back to the placeholder placard for a second. So we were live for a second, then we were back to stand by, and now we're Thanks, dog.
That should totally be the.
That's what I get for
opening,
trying to
man.
be funny. My own fault.
Oh, it's still Halloween in Daniel Ouellette's castle view here.
Well, it never stops being Halloween.
I know that, but our viewers don't necessarily know that. So.
Oh, I'm sure they know that.
We're excited to have you on. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. You know, there's like just having an excuse to hang out with some friends in this very laid-back environment is kind of our objective. And then it was also, we were talking last week because we've been working with Jason Mendelsohn on some horn parts for Before Your Time. And, you know, in a fairly recent amount of time, you were doing some video work for one of Jason's tracks, and it's just pure serendipity that we've got you positioned to do the music video for the same thing, that there's also this collaboration, you know, where you had worked with Jason. So we wanted to have you on and, you know, and get the story right from you.
Thanks. Well, I mean, it's really interesting to have that overlap between doing a video for him and, I mean, I met him through you, and it was very strange because evidently he played at a show with Will. I think his name is Will. Oh no, I don't remember. But anyway, it was a show that I did with you at the Wonderland Ballroom back in 2013. Do you remember this show?
I absolutely remember the show. You still had the old van that reminded me of like the poodle van from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah. It was affectionately called the Candy Van by a few of my friends. It was a very creepy and yet beautiful van. Yeah, and so I had not seen him, and you know, I just met him in passing, and you know, so much time had gone by, and then we moved to DC, and I went to one of your shows, and he was in the audience, and he came up to me and asked me if I was who I am, and I was totally sort of, I mean, it's happened before, and that's nice, but I was just totally sort of floored at the fact that he came up to me and said, "Are you Daniel Ouellette?" And I said, "Yes," and I didn't know who he was. So that it was a really, and this was probably 2017 or 18. So 5 years had passed, maybe even longer. I don't know. It could have been 2019.
Isn't that just like the most amazing feeling when someone you've never met before comes up and knows who you are because they know your band and know your music?
Oh yeah.
I happened to be at a party in
absolutely.
Fairfax in like 2012 or so.
Yes, exactly.
This guy, Adam, I forget his last name now, but he met him that night, and he was just like, "Wait, yeah, you're the bass player for Crooked Crow, right? I saw you guys," and I was like, "Yeah, just recognized the party. Cool."
I was signing autographs in North Carolina because there was an article in a local newspaper about us that we didn't know was there, and somebody recognized us from the photo in the newspaper, and we're like, "What?"
Oh, I've seen,
I've
seen those old Dreamscapes press photos. That's
yeah,
scary times.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, I just looked back down the screen and saw Daniel playing with the doll head there. Oh
yes.
Daniel, would you like to introduce Daniel for all the people out there watching right now who have no idea who he is? We kind of forgot the whole introduction thing.
I don't even know how. I don't really even know how to introduce Daniel. I think creative extraordinaire is like the best I could come up with when I was trying to make the social media stuff, because I think that between the music component and the music video component, like honestly, I think Daniel's probably in the best position to speak on this, in like having like a very unique perspective, and also just a very unique way of kind of sharing that. Like you're trying to say something that is not easy to capture. You know, like if you could do it just in words, you'd be writing poetry. So you're really trying to say something that uses the framework of music in the material that you write. And then you're also trying to say something that uses the framework of video in some of the work that you've produced more recently with other artists. Is that right, Daniel?
Well, sure. I mean, there's always a story. There's always a story. There's always some sort of, there's always some sort of message. And sometimes the message isn't what I meant, but someone else we bring our own thoughts to something. And someone will say, well, I see this, or I see that. But, and then there's just sort of an entertainment component. One thing that I learned from playing for many years is that, especially where we show up to places and we play songs for people they've never heard before, how do you win somebody over playing songs that are unknown to them?
Lots of inappropriate.
So you sort of have that element of, you have to have musicality, you have to have a good song. You can have all the visuals you want, and you know what? You can have all the musicianship you want. But if you don't put performanship with musicianship together, when you do a performance, people either become bored, they don't care, they don't remember what you did, they don't remember your name, you won't be signing autographs to strangers or just winning fans over. So as far as using video or using any kind of visuals, there's sort of two things. One, depends on a message I'm trying to give, or a message I want someone else to make. And then the other one is just plain sort of grabbing attention because of entertainment value without being sensationalistic.
Well, I have to admit that from the very first time that I've ever been on a bill with you, one of the things that's always stood out to me is the audience interaction that you have presented at your live shows.
To say the least.
I feel like it's the thing that I wish I knew how to do. Like, that's kind of how I feel about it, because
You just got to jump around the stage more like Eric and I do.
there's something really vulnerable about that, about trying to go out into the crowd and inviting them to participate with you live in this moment. I think it's very much in the realm of improv, and I think that there was there's probably, and you might know who this is, there's a Spanish like filmmaker who does things that maybe a little bit in kind of a way of like shock value, but it brings the audience in.
Buñuel.
Yes.
Luis Buñuel.
Yes.
Yes.
So
the Chien Andalou. Oh my gosh. When they cut the eyeball. Oh my gosh. It's a nightmare.
I remember reading a book about him, and there was something about sacrificing a chicken on stage as part of that show. And I mean, I know that might be taking it too far, but there's something about just the theatrical, the theatrical component, or like trying to say something that can only be said in that moment on stage, where you don't have everybody's attention in the same way when they're on a street corner or something, and so you're not that dramatic, but you are dramatic, and I love the effect that it has, and I love the experience that I have when I'm in the audience able to participate in it. So it's beautiful.
Tell the people I live with that I'm not that dramatic.
Hey, now I'm a musician, not a miracle worker. So
Just want to say, in case the stream cuts out abruptly, it's probably because I've lost power. We're in the middle of a huge thunderstorm right now. It's booming and shaking, and the dog is freaking out. And
It's wonderful.
One of these, well, unless I lose power, in which case the stream dies.
I know, but think of it this way: is it's not really the lights going out; it's just Frankenstein's monster recharging.
Well, hopefully not from a tree near my house.
Yeah.
And we've lost Daniel, and he's back. That was very quick, P, Danny.
Yeah, that was impressive.
I don't think he realizes
Put
he's
in the
muted.
corner.
Hey, you're muted, man.
Don't tell him. Just let him keep talking like that. See what happens. How long it takes. He's
you
still
work at home, people. Okay, like having to hang out with your dog all day.
Hey, it's a chore, man. Have to scratch her ears all the time and
Yeah,
give her little pets. And
yeah.
Did you catch all that, or did it cut me off?
Yeah, I didn't hear the words you said, actually.
No,
is your wine watered down, Daniel? It looks very thin.
It's a rosé.
Is it now?
Yes, it is. I have some brandy, but I'm not allowed to hit it till after the band meeting ends.
I
until
just
after
started
the
like
Fireside
9.
Chat.
You start in like 5 minutes. It won't hit until it's over. You'll be fine.
Right.
You'll be fine.
I desperately want a dog or like a mask to wear, or no, and what are them? A mannequin to pet. I desperately want that. Thank you.
it's very calming. It's very, very calming. It's it's going to replace goat yoga.
Mannequin petting?
Yeah. Mannequin yoga.
You could do those classes remotely. You could, somebody for $19.95, you ship them ahead.
Daniel?
There you go. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And,
I'm just trying to picture. Oh, good.
oh no. Go ahead. You are picturing?
Oh, I was picturing some gym offering mannequin petting classes with a certified mannequin petting trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be.
Yeah.
Give it back. Give it back. Give it back.
The real money is
My
in
dog
certifying.
loves to try to eat this thing. I think it's the fur. No, you can't have this. It's not a toy for you. Toy for me.
But I think that if such a class is offered, they have to play Love is Blue. Go listen to this instrumental, Love is Blue, on repeat. Because terrible things will happen.
Like Beetlejuice 3 times?
Sort of, yes.
Good to know. Love is blue.
I cannot think of the artist's name. Paul someone or other. He was French.
We'll look it up. I think we have the ability to do that here, don't we? This is
It's
Love is blue.
mhm.
By Paul Mariette,
Yes. Maria.
1968.
That's it. Maria.
Let's see if we can get this.
I love the fact we're doing an ad with the song for mannequin petting.
Yes.
You can flag us
It's-
now.
I mean,
We're getting sponsored, fellas.
is advanced mannequin petting like the whole mannequin, not just the head?
Perhaps. But these do show up in my performances too.
I've
So
seen them there before. How many do you have?
performances or heads?
Mannequin heads.
I have 4. I think there's 4. I think there might be one in the closet.
That seems
So
right.
there's
Recording
4.
stopped.
Oh, recording stopped.
Daniel,
Recording in
there.
progress.
Oh,
Daniel.
there you go.
Hey, Daniel's and his crappy internet strikes again. This is why
That's why.
I host
That's
the
why
shows
you're
now.
in charge. That's right.
So the last thing from this call is I have 4 heads. Just so we know, that's what we ended on, guys.
My stream
Wonderful.
says excellent connection
Nice.
on the YouTube behind the scenes page thing.
Believe you me, this is just rock and roll. Because Ozzy Osbourne said it's not supposed to be perfect. So there.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. So how now I'm asking a question. So how is
Ask away.
so how are things going with your recordings and in particular your time has come, but just in general, what are the 4 of you? Wait a minute, who's this man I did not meet?
Do you not know Kyle?
Oh, that's
I
right.
do not know Kyle.
Oh.
That's right.
We haven't met.
Hi,
So-
Kyle.
I'm the 4th box in the band.
Yeah. Well, nice to meet you, Kyle.
Oh, funny.
I was trying to add documentation to like the first couple of meetings that we did in the Fireside chat, and I was like, Kyle has been allowed to keep his position as keyboardist and as audio engineer and producer with the band, as long as he promises not to spend too much time with his family.
Right. Yeah. I'm always doing things with the kid, hanging out with the wife.
Yeah, you're like family first, and like I have a real job and
Priorities in order.
Ah.
blah blah blah.
Due dates. Yeah. No,
So
it's nice meeting you. I newest member, keyboards, home studio. Yeah, things are going pretty well with the recordings.
Yeah, Kyle joined the
Beautiful.
band right in the winter of or the winter of 2019, and he got to play one show with
One
us,
show. Yep.
and then pandemic,
So
lockdown.
what we're saying is Kyle probably caused the pandemic.
So, you know,
When you think about it.
there's-
when you put it like that, the
Yeah.
facts are irrefutable.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it all falls in line.
Pretty much.
This checks out.
Kyle joins the band, and then everything goes to hell.
Music stops.
Music stops for everyone.
Nobody's allowed
That's
to
how
play
bad it
ever
was.
again anywhere.
Actually, a lot of venues are opening back up.
Yep,
I'm very
they
excited.
are. I know.
I've got plenty of places we could be playing if Daniel weren't like 3,000 miles away.
I mean, we could schedule something for when I'm in town. It would be rough AF, but
I'd be more willing to do like an open mic night or something, just so we don't have to plan ahead and we can don't take away from
So
recording.
Fat
I
Tuesdays
like that.
has open mic on I think it's Monday nights or Wednesday nights. It's Wednesday night. We could totally live stream the open mic performance. That'd be amazeballs. Their Wi-Fi sucks though. I'll have to bring a hotspot.
Yeah, that
That
way we
sounds-
don't have to commit, and we can record if we need to record, or if we're done, we can go do whatever.
yeah, that'd be fun. I mean, even
Yeah.
if we're just like live streaming from there, doing our band, fireside chat, and we are able to talk, with somebody else that's there at the open mic that night, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But Kyle is literally in the best position to answer the question about the recordings, because we were going into different studios and working, but then when the pandemic hit, Kyle having a home under the bus, being a proficient professional audio engineer and having technological capabilities. So we've been trying to make the most of that.
Yeah, it's been very convenient.
Yeah, it really has.
Yeah, I don't know
More
if you're aware of our original plan for this next record was kind of borrowing heavily from the Sonic Highways tradition of Foo Fighters album, where they went around the country and recorded each song in a different famous studio. We were trying to do the same thing with DC-based studios. And like I said, we got 3 or 4 songs done that way, and then everything locked down. So we had to fall back
Is
on our
that the
laurels.
album where they worked at Inner Ear?
Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
Oh, okay.
which is closing. Boo!
I know.
That's where I make my last EP. I love
Don is
Don.
Don is the best person in the world. Don is so awesome.
It was a cool studio. I like it there.
I was going to say, I mean, this would be a great time, to talk about the work that you've done there at Inner Ear and Don as well. My only opportunity to really spend any time at Inner Ear was as a bassist with Betamax.
Mm-hmm. Well, last fall I worked with him on a 3-song EP. I dragged Ron into the studio to play his accordion, and I shot the videos that I made for it around DC, and this was fun. I mean, it was fun to work with him because it was the first time I ever got to sit in a studio and actually mix with someone, because I always had someone else mix, and we just sat, and within 6 hours we had a 3-song EP. And and I like that because I liked working with him, and I'm sad that he's not going to be, Inner Ear is not going to be there, but I don't even know what's happening. I guess the area is just
the county wants to replace the building and put in like a new arts community center thing. They're trying to make it an arts district, which means ripping down all the actual businesses that made it into an arts district in the first place.
Well, that's
although apparently
oh, go ahead. No. Well, I mean, it already is. I mean, it is one of the things about DC that I find interesting is that anything that has been there just gets a bulldozer all the time. And even though Arlington isn't DC, it is sort of DC.
It is.
And it was the one spot that I saw sort of leftover warehouses, and there's mechanic shops, and there's a brewery, and there's some industry, and there's a couple places to wash your dogs, and it was sort of one of the areas that seemed like it was always there, and now it's going to be gone. Which is not a surprise, because the short time that I lived in DC was 5 years.
DC gentrified fast.
Very fast. And
it was like overnight. It's like, whoa, there are condos there now.
Yeah. So it's not a surprise that the county wants to run it over. But Don is great, and whatever he does is going to be great, and what he has done is great. Which is, I'm using a lot of adjectives, but he's a wonderful, wonderful person to work with, and that is a shame for anyone who doesn't get that chance.
It is a shame, but in some ways it's also, I feel this way about IOTA. It's like I was there. Now, I wasn't there like every day, but I got to experience that. And while I certainly feel like it's a loss for, the current like up and comers to not have the opportunity to experience IOTA.
Yeah, such a great venue. I love playing there. I love seeing bands there. I mean, it's great because it was accessible in that you could, as a moderately successful local band, you could play there, and at the same time you could go see national acts that same week there. I mean, it's just such a great freaking venue.
International acts.
Yep.
I think one of my favorite shows there is having gone to see oh my gosh, I just lost it. I was just there in my head. I could see the stage. Anyway, no, but I mean, yeah, international audiences, international acts, and the open mics, it was real. It felt like a real community. It felt like the food prices and the beer prices were, fair for a DC venue. I don't know, like it just had kind of that whole package. And that's kind of how I think about I feel blessed to have been able to have seen it while it was there, and I feel that way about that opportunity to get inside of Inner Ear, and in some ways it kind of makes it a legend. like a permanent fixture inside of DC mythology by
Sure.
like it had a good run, you know?
Yeah, I mean that also is the thing, is that someone will always be doing something, and you know what is it? All things must pass. Nothing stays forever. Nothing stays gold forever, Pony Boy. And so, you know, that's okay too, because then somebody else will do something wonderful too. But yeah. So when when you do your video for, well, here I'm probably asking something I should ask offline, but when you do your video for Your Time Will Come, are the four of you going to get together and record yourselves, or will you be separate like this?
So
Kind of up to you, I
thinking-
guess, right?
Yeah, we're kind of waiting for your input as the director of the video. What you want us to do?
What I want you to do, I was waiting for him. Isn't that hilarious?
It's catch-22. I mean, I talked with the band, and you know, the track has been developing a long way, and it'll probably be completed in full as far as tracking goes by end of July.
Okay.
And so I have you know, the demo. I'm not sure that everybody in the band has kind of seen the footage that you've sent me to like start off with, but in my head, I had imagined that either as a band or individual members, maybe what we could do is shoot in front of a green screen and send you that footage, and then
That's
let
perfect.
you figure out how it would fit into.
Okay, that works fine. I mean, that is, you know, that can sort of segue into, that's since the pandemic, I've started this new video career, and that's basically how I've been working. And you go to my website, you'll see I have a whole page for what I call Daniel Ouellette video. And I've been making videos for a record company in Boston and their artist called Red on Red Records. And so I've made videos for a band, several bands. You know, I know personally as friends, and others I just know professionally musically.
Recording stop. Recording in progress.
Oh, that lady she just told me I don't know, I got a weird voice on my computer. All right, so I made videos for Kid Gulliver and for Justine and the Unclean. I made a video for another event in Boston for Dark Spring Boston, and they're doing a dark summer garden party at a mansion. So this is a little more dark wave and goth, but you know, these things. I'm doing a video for a duo, Lee Harrington and Linda Mandolin. I'm working on a video for another group called the Jacklights, who are on the Red on Red record. So, and I'm working on I have your video, and it's been very exciting, but this whole sort of spring, late fall into spring, now that we'll be heading into summer, I've been just doing a lot of video editing and coming up with video ideas. So, but the majority, because, you know, for the longest time we were all in separate places, it was mostly people sent me their footage. In July, I'm doing my first shoot with someone, which I'm a little nervous about, only because it's been so long since we've been out doing certain things that, you know, I think maybe I'm developing agoraphobia. But the majority of the videos that I've been making have been by either green screen or I get sent the footage and sort of work things out with colors and overlays.
Recording in progress.
So I think that, you know, as you say about, you know, each one of you filming with green screen, I mean, it works perfectly, of course.
Excellent.
Cool. Do you want me to do two versions, one on drums, one on percussion, because both will be in the thing, or do you want me to just, or we can take this offline too? What's your song?
Only if you're wearing a wig in one of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Totally different clothes.
No, the horse mask. The horse
Mask.
Play drums wearing the horse mask.
There you go.
Well, see, the
No, you can't
the
have
look
it.
of you
My
all,
dog really wants
that
to eat it.
part's totally up to you.
Okay.
I mean, I could give suggestions, you know, and one thing I will say, and this is one thing to everyone that I'm working with, there's sort of a set of rules and that I like to give out. And one of them is, you know, give yourself time to reshoot if you have to. You know, sometimes I will get things that are in such a, like, oh, we need this. And it's not giving enough time. And, you know, especially with green screen, you know, sometimes someone will do something with green screen, but you want to try to make sure that the whole screen is filling up your background, or realize that some things are going to have to be cropped. So I think the other thing is, you know, if you want to switch up instruments, that's perfectly fine. You know, in one scene you can have the drums, the other you can have percussion, the other you can have, you know, you can put some rattles in the head and, you know, whatever.
For
figured
this song, that might be a little too morbid.
Yeah, my plan was just
think
actually hit
it'd
the
be
drums
perfect.
one time and let you fix it. Let you make it look like I was playing.
I mean, and that, but no, I mean, greens, something like that is perfectly fine. I mean, obviously, I think that's sort of the way music videos really have gone in the past year, is everybody's filming themselves now, and either they're doing it themselves or they're finding somebody to sort of bring another element. But if if the four of you get a chance, go to where it does say Daniel Ouellette video and watch some of the other videos I've been making. There's a couple I have to put up. There's two I still have to put up because I like to make a portfolio. So you will see Jason Mendelssohn's video there. You will see a video by Kid Gulliver, by Alison Callery. There are all these people who I've met over the years who've asked me to make videos, and they're all different kinds. Sometimes it's a montage, or a found footage, and other times it's stock footage with green screen, or there's a couple different styles. So there's some things to look at. If there's something Daniel and the rest of you see that you're like, oh, how did that happen? Or what did you do there? That can be implemented. The footage that I gave you, Daniel, in my head, I said, well, if he doesn't want to use it, I'm going to use it.
Well, I think initially it was, here's, maybe like some starter material, and at the time we had talked about having Nick DePinto and maybe another person like shooting some story footage.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd still love to do that, and happy to fund that, happy to like proactively move in that direction. I mean, this project especially is in the Sonic Highways vein, is meant to show some of the talent in the DMV area, and so like the fact that I have an opportunity to have you help out with the music video, that Jason has done some of the horn stuff, that that maybe Nick and somebody else in the DMV could actually portray some of the components of the video as you imagine it. Like that would mean a lot to me. And the band hasn't contradicted any of these ideas. So that's usually a sign that they've signed on. And then, like I almost feel like sending you footage of the band performers in front of a green screen is supplemental. My baby has a tummy ache. I don't know if you caught all that.
Oh, you heard that?
Can you go check with your mama?
She sounds really excited about it, though.
Like I have a tummy ache.
Very proud of herself.
Can you shut the door, please? No, go see your mama.
Just completely ruined the illusion. You're out in like the desert night somewhere, Daniel.
I know. Yes, go see your mama and shut the door, please. Thank you.
Speaking
Daniel
of
basically
green
just said
screen.
to Reddy, to Jamie, I see your dog and raise you a kid.
Yeah. So we've gone a little over time, but I think is the whole band like comfortable with this cohesive Daniel Ouellette written directed project? Are we okay? Daniel, are you cool with maybe kind of reaching out to Nick and seeing if we can continue that plan that you had in your head? I don't know all the details, but it sounded like you were trying to get out to maybe the beach to shoot a few things. Is that still within the possibilities?
That's possible. I mean, that's very possible. All it takes is writing to him. I don't know. I think I have his email address, but if you could shoot that to me, that would be most beneficial.
Maybe we can have him on as a future guest.
Yeah. I know he's on Instagram. I look at this stuff occasionally, maybe once a week. I sort of crossed over this line where I was thinking, you know what, I don't know if it was COVID or what it was, but I
like how he's gesturing with a rubber bat.
Yes. I have Madame Maria do all the social media PR, so I look at it, but I don't look at it intensely. I go and look at it and see what people are up to, and so as far as getting in touch with Nick, I believe I have his email address anyway. I'm
happy to send out an email this week, and kind of get everybody reconnected, reacquainted. The song is getting a little bit closer towards completion, so it would be good to update everybody anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting, but before I get farther along, I'll definitely recommend everybody goes to danielouellette.net to stay in touch with you and your endeavors, and we'll put that in the info in the description of the video. But yeah, I'm totally happy to send that email out and kind of get the conversation back going. That's also what this is for, is a platform to try to engage each other, engage fans, draw a little attention to the work that we're all doing. And this collaborative process is, really meaningful for me personally.
Yeah, on that note, anybody who's watching, if you're a creative in Northern Virginia, DC, Maryland area, and you want to come on the show and talk about what you do and how it relates to music or video or anything, creative, join us. We're happy to have you.
We'll figure it out. That's for sure. Next week we have Data Recovery Project, because I will be live in Key West, Florida.
Oh, maybe better internet.
But hopefully with a better internet connection. I will be doing backing vocals for Data Recovery Project, and there's a recording happening there on a houseboat. It's going to be a really cool, unique experience. So I'll take lots of photos and share that with you. And then the following week we have Keith Center, who is, from Dreamscapes Project, as well as Another Wasted Hour. I consider him a staple of the Washington, D.C. community. I think his heart is really here to see the growth and the potential, and I think he saw it before a lot of us saw it, so it'll be really exciting to have him on the podcast or this YouTube situation.
The situation.
I don't know what it is it a podcast, is it a vlog, like what is it? I don't know.
Situation.
It's a situation.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do with the YellowTieGuy situation?
What's going on with this YellowTieGuy situation? But we've already gone over time, which we've done consistently. But because we do try to cut it off as close to 9:30 as we can, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. But Daniel, thank you so much for coming and being on the show.
Thank you.
in parting, I'll ask, do you know Kathy Sands Bomer up in the Boston area?
I do not.
She's got a blog that she writes, and to send everybody there, you can check out everythingsundry.com. She is super familiar with the Washington, D.C. scene. Reached out to me the other day on LinkedIn, and we had a great chat. And I think it's a small world because I did have that call with her, and she's very familiar, of course, with the neck of the woods that Daniel, you're very familiar with, and knows that some of those venues are no longer available, and has had experience as a booking agent there for a coffee house, and as a writer of a blog. So very, very heavily intent on promoting the local scene.
Oh no, that venue we played up in Massachusetts is still there? The Dedham Coffee House?
Dedham Coffee House is still there, but
Okay, I like that place.
I met Daniel at a place called All Eastern, or Old Eastern.
All Asia?
The All Asian, yeah. That's no longer standing, is my understanding.
No, it's a dorm. It's a building. It's now some sort of building for MIT. Wow, that was a long time. Well, wait a minute. Yeah, I met you there. You were doing shows with
51 Shortfalls.
Yeah.
And I think there was a band. There was a young teenage band at that same show. It was like Exit something, or like 40. Gosh, I'll have to go through my archives, but the All Asia is no longer there. And the last time I think we did PA's Lounge with Melt. That's where we were on the same bill with you again, I think. And then the last time that we came up as a band, it was at Dedham Square Coffee House. And I mean, the experiences have always been fantastic. It's just a matter of like trying to keep up the ability to get back there and visit again. So we'll have to figure that out.
I have no idea what is there and what is not. I do know that O'Brien's in Alston is still there. And I'm playing there October 28th.
All right.
And that might be the only show I do all year, but I do not know.
Well, I'll connect you with Kathy, because I think that her writing on her blog would put, it is definitely a lot of stuff happening in that scene on a regular basis. So it might have an impact to get some buzz out, And she may be doing some writing for Alchemical Records for some artists that she's met through the folk festival and through the folk community, and made a lot of connections in that space. So it's a small world is really what I'm saying. And so don't take it for granted that, that everything comes back to us later on in life. It's really beautiful.
All right. Well, Daniel, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, gentlemen, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and we'll be in discussion offline about your music video. And Jamie, where are you right now? What town are you in?
No one can know that. I live in Fairfax.
Where? Oh, that's Virginia, right?
Yes.
Okay. No, because I was wondering about the storm, because I have moved and I am now living on the sea, but I'm in Maryland. So I didn't know if you were getting, our electricity was doing the flashing as well. So that's what I was excited about. We were sharing the same thunderstorm.
Yeah, it's still going. It's still rolling around. Kyle's only about 10 minutes from me, and Eric's about 20 minutes the other way.
It hit me first, yeah. It hit me a couple hours ago, probably.
Well, it started a couple hours ago. It's still going here. You're not getting anything, Eric?
I mean, not like it was. It's still something, but it's not like. It was. I was watching trees, expecting one of them to come down.
Oh, okay. I was just mostly rolling thunder here. Just have to keep the dog on her edge and trying to crawl up in my lap.
Yeah, but it's always nice to share a thunderstorm between friends.
What's a thunderstorm between friends, guys?
Exactly. All right. Good night, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Everybody, thanks for watching. We had actually the most viewers we've had so far tonight. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Every week
Thanks
it
for
gets a
watching.
little better.
We'll just round up to like a couple thousand, right?
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Daniel
I'll let you know when we get there.
Ouellette.net.
Yeah. You know what? Can I do just one shout out to
Yeah.
I want to do a shout out to Madame Maria, who is Jenny Matee from Fun Never Starts, because she's been such a great support. She's a wonderful talent and just a very good friend, and she's been great with running my Facebook and my Instagram and thinking of things that I'm just like, like even she's like, oh well, today she put up the post for the show because I'm out gardening and doing whatever, and it's like,
That explains so much. I thought you had some sort of like alternate personality thing going on. I was like, what is he doing?
No.
Who's Madame
She's
Maria?
the mannequin. It's the mannequin.
Madame
Well,
Maria.
I mean, I've known Daniel for a while, and it's not outside the realm of possibility.
Well, it's true. It is. I mean, anyone can have anything. So, it is possible, but it is not a multiple personality. It's a very wonderful person who has been taking up this personality to do PR, and we're doing it in sort of a very colorful way. And I am looking forward to getting out and seeing people's shows and things like that. But if somebody writes to me, I will contact them. But
Recording in progress.
But when people write to the Instagram or the Facebook, I kind of want them to know that I have my email address. Write to me there, and I will definitely talk to you. It's not like I'm saying, "Ooh, don't talk to me." I just really haven't been kind of into doing a lot of the social media since people now recognize me on the street. I can't do it myself.
It's a curse,
gentlemen.
Nice.
burden and a curse.
Yeah. Thank you, Daniel. You have been wonderful. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. And I'm going to end the stream. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Oh.
Okay.